Musa, good morning to you.
Good morning to the both of you, and thank God it's Friday. Okay, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated the Super Eagles on their emphatic 4-1 victory over Gabon in the FIFA World Cup qualifying Africa playoff match, describing the performance as a clear expression of the Nigerian character that rises, adapts, and prevails. In a statement signed by Bayo Nanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, President Tinubu noted that the team played with courage, balance and precision, and reminded the country that football has always been one of Nigeria's most potent symbols of unity and shared pride. He stated that the victory adds fresh momentum to the national spirit and strengthens the collective resolve to secure a place at the World Cup. President Tinubu commended the players, the coaching staff, and the entire technical and administrative crew for their unwavering commitment to the national cause, adding that the dedication has brought the national team victory. President Bola Tinubu is again calling on Nigerians to collectively invoke the patriotic spirit towards consolidating the country's greatness and ensure protection of his sovereignty. It was at the presentation of research paper by participants of National Defense College, Course 33 in the State House.
Your presentation and the findings delivered to me this afternoon will receive a diligent attention and a thorough review and critical path for implementation. It is a patriotic duty to look further into the horizon, to be determined and be resilient, to invoke our spirit that can achieve greatness.
The National Council on Privatization has approved the request by the Bureau of Public Enterprise to follow through on the engagement with Transco Power Consortium to secure execution of the performance agreements on the sale of Afam Power PLC and Afam 3 Fast Power Limited. The approval followed a memo presented to the National Council on Privatization by Director General of BPE, Ayodeji Ariyo Bele, its third meeting presided by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Presidential Villa.
We must also confront one of the most persistent hurdles in our national reform journey, which is post-privatization integrity. It is essential that we create seamless structures and ironclad transaction documents that are meticulous, transparent, and legally sound. Our goal must be zero tolerance for ambiguities, because any deviation from clarity pulls us away from our true economic direction.
Senate is in the process of repealing and reenacting the Nigeria's Armed Forces Act, part of which makes provision to prohibit enlistment of persons below 18 years in the military. This was during plenary on Thursday.
The bill upholds the supremacy of the Constitution and integrates fair hearing and due process into military justice.
Reports of boards of inquiry set off by military authorities should not serve as a basis for conviction. It violates the principles of nemo judice in causa sua. You cannot be a judge in your own cause.
Get the military, let them be involved in enacting the law, so that we look at the authority of the CNC as well as the tradition of the military.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has directed the Federal Ministry of Education and the West African Examination Council WAEC to suspend the plan to hold computer-based examination next year and delay implementation till 2030. This resolution at Thursday's plenary was born out of apprehension among lawmakers that inadequate preparation may lead to mass failure.
It's wrong to start this policy now without adequate preparation. Computer-based examination requires fully furnished hall with functional computers, internet facility, constant electricity supply, be it from the national grid or standby generator.
This motion is referred to the Committees on Basic Education, Digital and Information Technology, Basic Examination Bodies.
The federal government wants stakeholders in the advertising industry to sustain efforts in building Nigeria as a brand of prosperity and not a land of crisis. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, at the 5th National Advertising Conference in Abuja, says engagement with the international community, including the United States, is working on addressing current challenges misbranding Nigeria.
When false narratives about Nigeria are spread, especially internationally and also intentionally, it is your creativity, your strategy, and your storytelling that can counterbalance them with truth, with context, and compelling narratives of hope and progress. We need a communication renaissance, one that emphasizes facts over fear, unity over division, and truth over propaganda.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority is assuring the general public of adequate supply of petroleum products in the country within the acceptable national sufficiency threshold during this peak demand period. Statement by Judge Ine Ita, Director, Public Affairs Department of the agency, says there is robust domestic supply of petroleum products, including diesel, petrol, and liquefied petroleum gas, sourced from both local refineries and importation to ensure timely replenishment of stocks at storage depots and retail stations during and after festive peak periods. The authority therefore cautioned against hoarding, panic buying, or non-market reflective escalation of prices of petroleum products. The statement also said the implementation of the 15% ad valorem import duty on imported premium motor spirit and diesel is no longer in view. Those are the highlights of the news at this time. Good morning, Nigeria continues after the break.